everyone, and welcome to Go-to-Market AI, the future of your go-to-market tech stack. I'm your host, Sarah McConnell. These days, it seems like every company has AI, but on this show, we want to go a level deeper so you can see firsthand how businesses are actually applying AI to solve your business challenges. We're going deep into the use cases and showing you live demos of the latest and greatest in AI technology. Today, I'm joined by Tim Silber, Product Manager on G2 Labs. Tim, welcome to the show. I'm so excited you're here.
Hey, Sarah, happy to be here. Equally excited, and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So let's start with, can you tell me a little bit, obviously people know who G2 is, but I'd love to hear it in your words. Who is G2? What are you guys doing specific to AI? And who are you guys helping in the market?
Yeah, so G2 was really founded on the question, why is it easier to read reviews for a $100 hotel room than it is a $100,000 piece of business software? And so over the last 10 years, we've become the world's largest and most trusted B2B software marketplace with around 2.5 million authentic reviews, over 2,000 software and services categories, and around 80 million buyers annually. And so I'm a product manager on our G2 Labs team, which is a small, hyper R&D focused team that's always looking for G2's next product line. And so our goal is to drive innovation by conducting user research, running experiments, and then quickly prototyping, testing, and launching new products. And so one of those more recent products that we'll be talking about today is Monty, our friendly mongoose mascot, who has really become the face of a bunch of our recent AI initiatives.
That's amazing. I will say out of all of season 1 of Go-to-Market AI, you guys, 5 gold stars for the cutest AI mascot in Monty. It's amazing to see have a personality. With that being said, Tim, let's jump into it. I'd love to see a demo of what Monty does and how this AI is working into G2, since people are already so familiar with G2 as a general product.
All right, let's go for it. So to state the problem up front, while G2 has always been great, if you already have some idea of what you're looking for, whether it's a specific category of software or a short list of products, what if you're a buyer and you don't know exactly where to start your software buying journey? And how can we leverage conversational AI to streamline that experience? So in April of this year, we launched Monty, the world's first AI-powered B2B product recommendation assistant, to address exactly that. So if you're ready, I'd love to introduce you to Monty.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Monty currently lives in a few places in G2, but to simulate a true software buying experience, let's just start from the G2 homepage and chat with Monty. So we'll get started. And we'll ask Monty for help choosing the best software for my business. And so let's say I want to learn more about conversational marketing software. And so Monty's now searching across the thousands of categories and hundreds of thousands of products on G2 based on my question to find the right category and a short list of products for my needs. So Monty starts off by generating a brief summary of the category and found 2 relevant categories, conversational marketing and conversational support, both of which are relevant to the question if you're not exactly sure what you might be looking for. And what's cool about Monty here is he's actually injected the G2 grid, which is an interactive widget. So let's take a look. We'll go ahead and filter grid. We can either choose a live grid or a trending grid, or even filter by company size. So let's choose the enterprise grid. And I can see that qualified as a leader in this space. So let's ask Monty to tell me more about qualified.
That's really cool that you can filter right there in the chat function, that you're not bouncing around a bunch of different places or like prompting it a whole bunch more, that then you kind of lose that grid. That's really awesome that you can pull that filter. That's a great UX feature.
Exactly. Yeah. So Monty's now searched through our product catalog, found qualified, and is providing some high-level information like the 4.9 out of 5 stars, which congratulations, by the way, that's awesome, from reviews. And then also some basic information about the product and functionality, and then also including some pricing tiers, which is one of the most frequent queries that buyers are asking to Monty. And then Monty loves to keep the conversation going, but also the opportunity to offer the opportunity to say, hey, I want to now contact qualified. So we can do exactly that. And we inject the G2 lead form right into chat, pre-populated with my user information to streamline that process and make it pretty easy. So Monty's helping thousands of buyers every month streamline their software purchasing experience.
That's really cool. I've obviously used G2 quite a bit in my time as a B2B buyer. And I've always found the G2 interface really easy to use in general, as far as like finding what I'm looking for and then comparing it to other products. But it does take time like scrolling through and looking for different, getting to the grids and then going back to the reviews. So I love that Monty just consolidates everything, to your point of using AI to make this a really easy buying experience. And a lot of times people don't really know where to start. So I love that it is able to just You can prompt it with questions. It's not just buttons that you have to choose from. It's actually retaining that, answering the question. So this is really incredible. I have to imagine people are quite enjoying this feature.
Yeah, sure. And then we certainly had a lot of fun building it. And, we had so much fun building it that we started asking, what else can we do with conversational AI? And so within a few weeks of launching the recommender, we connected Monty to our documentation knowledge base, and that's where Support Monty was born. So Support Monty lives in our My G2 admin dashboard and can answer a wide range of questions like how to update your G2 profile, set up integrations, starting your G2 review campaign. So we can take a look there as well. And here's our cute little mongoose cartoon. So here's Monty, the friendly AI assistant for G2. And let's just say we want some help updating my profile banner. Maybe I went through a recent rebrand and I don't remember exactly where in my G2 to find that information. So we'll go ahead and search through our entire documentation knowledge base. And you can see that Monty will start off with information where to go in my G2, what UI elements to interact with, and then also include a link to our documentation so users can learn more.
Oh, that's awesome. I was our admin for G2 for quite a while when I first joined Qualified. And so I spent a lot of time in the back end of G2, like updating things, to your point, updating product descriptions and banners and review campaigns. And I know I had a fantastic customer success manager, and I used to bug her all the time with these questions. So I'm sure, like, I see this, I'm like, oh, I would have used this all the time. Like, this is such a good user experience, because there were questions like that where I'm like, oh, I'm not in here every day. It's every couple months. I forgot where the banner is, or how to update my CTA button on my G2 profile. So this would have been really helpful, and I'm awesome that customers now have the opportunity to use this.
Yeah, we're really happy with it. And, one of the reasons we were able to move so quickly after launching the recommender to developing Support Monty is that we were, at the same time as we were developing these two bots, working on this internal no-code bot building platform that would allow us to easily create and refine our AI agents for whatever use case we wanted to tackle next. And it made it really easy to start tweaking that functionality and kind of hone in on what we want to do and iterate really rapidly. And so it wasn't long before we started asking, how can we leverage this platform to bring buyers and sellers even closer together? And, there's only so much information, for example, that can fit on a single G2 profile page. And as a buyer, how valuable would it be if you could have your detailed product questions answered as you're researching products and comparing them to other products on G2? And as a seller, how great would it be if you can have a sales representative always ready to answer those questions 24/7, especially while those buyers are researching your product on G2. So another version of Monty I'd love to show you is one that we launched a beta program for in August, what we're currently calling Monty for Sales, which enables customers to use our platform to create their own version of Monty, trained on their organization's sales and marketing content to educate those high-intent G2 buyers, push them down the funnel, and ultimately sell their software autonomously.
Yep.
So kind of in the spirit of drinking our own champagne, let's take a look at the Monty for Sales bot we have on our own G2 Marketing Solutions profile page. So here in the bottom right corner, we have a chat with an expert bubble. We'll go ahead and interact with Monty, and Monty introduces himself as a friendly AI sales assistant for G2 Marketing Solutions. So let's ask Monty to tell me about customers who have seen success with G2. And while the general product recommender will exclusively use G2 data to interpret a user's needs and direct them to the right solution, Monty for Sales lets you upload your organization's own internal and external content and allow Monty to use that content much like a member of your own sales team. So we uploaded transcripts from our best sales calls and webinars, battle cards, and as you're seeing here, case studies. And I really love how Monty approaches this question in particular, because I asked for some examples and Monty says, you want examples? I got multiple.
Yeah.
Start around the success stories, and even including those publicly accessible URLs to our case studies so buyers can learn more. All right.
Monty has the thumbs up and thumbs down. I think those are just like such small features that make a huge difference. I think in like training and making sure these answers are right is that giving users the option to say like, yeah, this was helpful or it wasn't. And I'm assuming all of that is ingested to help train Monty on the back end.
It sure is. Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep. And so, as a buyer, I might want to now ask Monty, a more detailed product question. So something like, does G2 provide information about buyers' researching my product and competitors. All right. And Monty's again searching through the content that we uploaded to generate a relevant response. And his knowledge is so encyclopedic that some of our own internal reps will actually chat with Monty as they're preparing for a sales call to help them find the relevant case studies and success stories and create that tailored value proposition for the persona they're speaking to for them. And so
that totally makes sense. Like if you think about buyers, like our sellers, if they're, we've got all of our data in some warehouse, like a guru where they have to go search through. If they have to go through and like dig through all these different folders, it's so much easier just to ask the conversational AI and say, hey, like, can you go, you're going to get through it a lot faster than I am. Like you're going to be able to read it, go grab that information and bring it in. So I can see where absolutely sellers would use this for their own benefit as well as buyers.
Yeah. It is funny. As we've been exploring our beta program, we do see a lot of sellers' internal usage for that reason. They give the persona, and then Monty finds the case studies and has that tailored value pitch kind of instantly. And so in this case, for this question, Monty correctly identified the feature we're talking about as buyer intent data. Tell us a little bit more about the successes that some customers are seeing with buyer intent data, and then what more information can provide. And so Monty loves keeping the conversation going, but I'm kind of sold here. So let's say that's great. How can I book a demo? And very similarly to the recommender example we saw earlier, Monty's in a second going to go ahead and inject the G2 lead form into chat. And once again, it's pre-populated with my information to make that process even easier. So we're pretty excited about it.
Very cool. I think to your point, again, like we have a G2 profile page that we maintain at Qualified, that we can't have all of our information on there. Like there's so much product information if people have really specific questions that we don't necessarily have listed in like the descriptions or in the case studies or what. So being able to feed that information to Monty for sales in the back end, make sure it has all those answers. I will also say we love anyone that comes to our website from G2. Like as far as leads go or referring sources, like our reps know when it's from G2, like that's our most high intent potential buyers. And I feel like this is only going to make it even better because they've already asked those questions. It takes out a lot of the work for our sales reps. Like it's doing a lot of that work they were going to have to do when they came to our website. And by the time they're there, they're ready to buy. So this is really cool.
Yeah, there's that pre-qualification education aspect that our beta participants are really loving.
Yeah.
Yep. And so if we have some time, I'd love to give you a quick demo of our self-service platform that customers are using to add content and access performance metrics. So we'll go to Monty for Sales Privilege and My G2, where we currently have two tabs, configuration and performance. So on the G2 Labs team, we believe in shipping early and shipping often. So we have an overhaul of these pages coming within the next couple of weeks. That's going to improve the functionality, look and feel of these pages. But let's just start with a look at the content upload process. So I'll grab one of these links just so I have something for demo purposes. And then we'll hit add content, where I can drag and drop local files like PDFs, Word docs, and a bunch of other supported file types, or I can just paste in a list of URLs. So let's just add that URL I just grabbed and hit create content. You can see Monty correctly identifies the content that we uploaded as a case study and begins processing that content, which in a few moments it'll finish and immediately be available for the chatbot to use in conversations. And we can even evaluate the impact of that content on conversations directly from the interface by hitting preview chat. And on the reporting side of things, let's click on the performance tab. Give it a second to load. And we start off with some high-level performance metrics for Monty, including the total number of conversations and the total number of links clicked throughout the chat history. And we're also offering the ability to read anonymized conversation with buyers. So here's my chat that we saw earlier, which not only helps our customers fine-tune Monty's performance as you're kind of deciding what content to use, but also provides insights into the kinds of questions that buyers are asking as they're researching your product on G2. So that's pretty much my demo.
This is such a cool feature for two use cases immediately come to mind. Is one, to your point, like you could go in here as the admin of G2 and look and say, oh shoot, someone asked this question. I have documentation for that. I forgot to give that to Monty because maybe we just changed something or we had a new product release. And it's sort of this like good reminder, but to what people are asking, my immediate use case as a marketer is I'm like, oh, I could use this to fuel what content I need to create. So people are asking a bunch of questions and I realize, oh, we don't speak to that very often in any of our product documentation, or like I should start creating top of funnel assets that answer these questions that people are asking. So I feel like not only from a product marketing side is like, okay, I need to make sure I'm like feeding this all the relevant information, but from a content marketing side, I can use this to fuel that content. So a lot of really fun use cases for a go-to-market team here.
Exactly.
Tim, this was such a cool demo. I love Monty, not only because he's a cute mongoose, but I think that this is just such a good like buyer experience. It's good for both sides of this. Like it's making a great experience for those that are coming to look and learn more, but also for the companies. G2's always been a great platform to use, and this is just making it so much better for users. So thank you for taking us through that demo. Now, if you're ready, I would love to go into our lightning round Q&A and have you answer a couple questions if that's okay.
We're ready. Let's do it.
Okay, so the first one is, how long have you been building AI into G2?
Yeah, so the concept of AI has gone through a bunch of kind of its own rebrands over the years, and it's now this catch-all for what we used to call things like machine learning or natural language processing. But G2's been pretty heavily invested in this space for a few years, both internally and externally. So, for example, we have internal models that help us with things like surfacing the right software categories when new products are submitted to G2. We have buyer-facing models that generate pros and cons for products based on G2 review data. And then we also have customer-facing models that provide market intelligence data based on trends in review responses.
Yep.
But like I'm sure you've heard most people who come on the show say, having access to the newest generation of large language models via an API has made it so much easier to test if any given problem is worth solving with AI. And that abstraction really helps us kind of make that value judgment if we should just use an off-the-shelf foundation model or build something ourselves.
Yeah, that's awesome. Next question is, what you showed today with Monty, is this generally available now for customers?
Yeah, so the product recommendation assistant intended to help software buyers is in GA, as is Support Monty for customers. Our new Monty for Sales product is in limited beta right now. We have about 75 customers live with Monty for Sales on their profile, but we plan to move to an open beta within the next month or so.
Oh, that's amazing. And speaking of customers, can you speak to some of the success that your customers are seeing with any of those Monty for Support, Monty for Sales? Anything you want to speak to from a customer standpoint there?
Yeah. So the response to the Monty for Sales beta so far has been kind of amazing. When we get on calls, customers keep using the word impressive to describe performance. And that makes us, feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But quantitatively, we're seeing some customers 10x their G2 leads, shorten the sales cycle, and Monty has actually already closed several deals, like completely on his own through self-service, which is really amazing. And from the inside side, our customers love being able to see what buyers are asking as they're researching their product on G2, kind of like what you mentioned, which is generally a totally different stage of the funnel than when our customers usually get to talk to their prospects. And they've been using these insights to fine-tune their marketing narratives as a result.
Absolutely. Okay, and last question is, do you mind sharing a little bit more is what's next for G2 and AI or Monty? Like what's on your roadmap? How are you guys thinking about AI within G2 in the future?
Yeah, so first, one of the cool things about our labs team is that we don't have a roadmap for more than a few weeks out, which allows us to run tests and be really responsive to the market. But happy to share a few things we're thinking about, both in labs with Monty and across G2. So for Monty, we're going to be focusing on enhancing reporting to make sure customers are able to get insights on how Monty is using their content, as well as generating themes from conversations. And one of the most frequent questions we get from beta participants is, hey, can I embed Monty on my own website landing pages? And so we have a few customers testing this as well. But in general, across G2, we're also looking at ways we can use AI for quality of life improvements across our product lines, like making it easier for reviewers to turn their experience with the product into high quality reviews, making it easier for sellers to take action in response to those reviews, and also further improve our search and recommendation process so buyers can get a truly personalized experience and find exactly the right product for their needs.
Yeah, that's awesome. I also have never heard someone say that they don't have more than a couple week roadmap, which I have to imagine you kind of said earlier, your guys are testing and shipping frequently and often. So that is a really cool concept, especially for something like you said, AI it's not new, but the access we now have to OpenAI and to these models is making it move so fast. I love that you guys are able to be that agile, I guess, as you guys are deciding like what to do and when to ship. That's amazing. Tim, thank you so much for joining the show. It was great to have you on and to see a demo of G2 and of Monty.
Sarah, always a pleasure. Love the show, and thanks for having me.